Welcome to Visuality Systems, the SMB protocol experts. In today's tutorial, we'll be discussing key SMB protocol security measures that will help you safeguard your data and your network. As part of Microsoft's Secure Future initiative, launched in 2023 to address the growing scale and complexity of cyber attacks, Windows 11 version 2.4H2 and Windows Server 2025 now include important SMB features that make your data, your users, and your organization safer. Most of these features are enabled by default, ensuring that your network is secure from the start. The security measures introduced by Microsoft, all supported by Visuality Systems' SMB protocol software libraries, include SMB signing required by default, SMB and TLM blocking. Insecure guest authentication is now off by default in Windows Pro editions. SMB dialect management, SMB client encryption mandate, deprecation and disabling of remote mail slots. SMB over QUIC is now supported not only in the Azure edition as it was in Windows Server 2022, but also in the Data Center and Standard edition starting from Windows Server 2025. SMB over QUIC client access control. Support for SMB on alternative ports. In this video, we'll cover SMB over QUIC Server. SMB over QUIC is an alternative to the legacy TCP protocol and RDMA, and is designed for secure use of untrusted networks like the Internet. It uses TLS 1.3 for encryption, establishing a secure tunnel over UDP port 443 instead of TCP port 445. Unlike traditional authentication methods that rely on passwords, SMB over QUIC uses certificates to ensure security. This enables all SMB traffic, including authentication, multi-channel, and compression, to pass through edge firewalls, allowing seamless access for mobile and remote users without the need for a VPN. Importantly, the user experience remains unchanged. By default, SMB over QUIC is not enabled, and a client cannot force a file server to use it. Instead, a file server administrator must explicitly opt in to enable SMB over QUIC. Additionally, client access control, covered in a separate video, allows administrators to restrict which clients can or cannot connect to SMB over QUIC servers. Before the change, SMB over QUIC in Windows Server 2022 was restricted to Azure Edition machines only. This meant that if you wanted to use SMB over QUIC, your file server had to run the Azure-specific version of Windows Server. The feature wasn't available for Standard or Data Center editions, limiting its accessibility for many organizations outside of Azure. SMB over QUIC is now included in all Windows Server 2025 editions, not only on Azure Edition, like it was in Windows Server 2022, but also on Data Center and Standard editions. Before configuring SMB over QUIC on the server, we need to obtain the certificate thumbprint. This thumbprint uniquely identifies the certificate used for secure communication. Once you have the thumbprint, use the following PowerShell command to map the certificate to your SMB server. New SMB server certificate mapping, name server FQDN, thumbprint certificate thumbprint, store name my. Here, the fully qualified domain name, or FQDN, represents the complete hostname of the server, including the domain and top-level domain. Now that SMB over QUIC is configured, we can connect from a Windows 11 client using the following command. Net use server FQDN transport, QUIC. If the connection is successful, you'll see a confirmation message indicating that a drive has been mapped to the SMB server over QUIC. At this point, the setup is complete, and the client is securely connected using SMB over QUIC. When configuring SMB over QUIC, following best practices ensures a secure and efficient deployment. Let's go over the key recommendations. First, whenever possible, use SMB over QUIC within an Active Directory domain. This provides stronger authentication and management capabilities. Second, keep SMB over QUIC running on its default inbound port, UDP 443, unless a specific configuration requires otherwise. Finally, if your deployment includes domain controllers, they should be read-only to minimize security risks. Do not allow inbound connections over TCP port 445 on your file server. SMB over QUIC eliminates the need for this, reducing attack surface and improving security. Also, avoid using IP addresses in the server's subject alternative name. Doing so forces authentication to fall back to NTLM, which is less secure, even if Kerberos is available through a domain controller or KDC proxy. By following these best practices and avoiding common pitfalls, you can ensure a more secure and resilient SMB over QUIC deployment. Thank you for watching. Want to know more? Explore the other videos in this tutorial series, visit our website, or reach out for more insights. Visuality Systems, the SMB protocol experts.